All right, so back with another segment with my favorite gal in all the world. Been married 34 spectacular, mostly spectacular years, I would say. Couple rough spots, but that's every new couple gets together and, that first kid, what do we do? Second kid, you're going, we got this. Then twins hit, and you're going, what do we do? 4 kids all together. And 4 of them are working in the garden center. So one's brought a husband in, so a son-in-law and 3 daughters working here in the garden center. And our son is in the Army, so he's off. He just has a new assignment at Fort Hood. You folks in the military, Army specifically, you know where that is. He's a physician's assistant and married a super bright, super just perfect gal for him. We love to death, and 3 grandkids. So that's kind of our family in a nutshell, and we like to garden together.
Okay.
Was that for an intro? Lisa, Waters Lane. Here you go.
It was a long intro.
I don't know, not even 90 seconds.
Oh, I guess
not even.
Just felt long.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but the audience is mesmerized.
Sure
They're not going anywhere now.
Maybe they've already
it's too late. They've already gone. Yeah,
they're gone.
Okay, so this is all for you. What's on your mind? What do you see? What's gardening in your garden world?
So in my garden world, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm getting ready for my fall veggies.
Yeah.
So we've been doing the tomatoes, the peppers, the cucumbers, the zucchinis, and some of that stuff has kind of petered out. It's
starting
done. It's kind of starting to go, I think I'm done. Or we've had some losses because we've been away. So
don't tell people that. We're the ultimate gardeners. We never have mistakes or losses.
Oh, okay.
That's not true. You should own a garden center. You can kill more plants than anyone.
Oh, we do. So we're kind of in that transition-y period. I mean, it's not like you're going to be planting more tomatoes or any of that kind of stuff. So it's that transition time. And we're very lucky here that we can have a second crop of the leafy vegetables. So the lettuce, cauliflower, all those kind of things can go in now. So it's a good transition time. We're starting to cool down. It doesn't feel like it today, but we are starting
this
to cool
morning
down.
Was beautiful. The day, you can tell morning's getting shorter.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, it's Indian summers. It's summer still for another 3 weeks, something like that.
I guess so.
So you're a fall gal. My goodness. Fall is the best time in the mountains of Arizona.
It's
spectacular.
Beautiful. So it's a good time to start thinking about some of those fall veggies. And the great thing I like about them, especially things like the lettuce and the kale, you can sneak them in amongst your tomatoes and your peppers and the things that you have growing right now, because they like a little bit of shade while it's still warm. So kind of sneaking them in gives them time to get started and rooted in while the soils are still nice and warm, so that you can have a really great fall vegetable garden.
So I gather you've had the fall crops come in, so you're starting to see that.
Yes.
So I saw mums on our Facebook page, so they're coming in, and I'm sure all the others. You don't put on Instagram your lettuce crop. There's no flower to them. Some of them are pretty colors. You got some reds, but basically, it's lettuce. It's a leaf. It sure is tasty.
It is very tasty. Well, why not?
Maybe we should.
I don't know. Well, you talk about pretty thing. I think the Swiss Chard
that's a good point.
Is actually beautiful, and it performs so wonderfully in containers or in the ground. So using it in amongst with your mums, with your pansies, with your violas, why not?
My favorite fall crop, foliage, edible, kale.
Yes.
Edible kale, not ornamental. Edible kale is pretty. Yeah. Dark, rich, thick green, filled with iron, just all this nutrient for you. And then it just grows all winter. I mean, you're harvesting kale in December and January and February and March, and it grows even more in April.
I think that's why I like the fall veggies, especially the lettuces and the kales, because it's a continual harvest.
True.
It's not like, I'm waiting for my tomatoes to come on.
Yeah, I know.
You just start harvesting from it almost right away.
Yeah.
And you're right. There's some speckled lettuces. There's some red romaines. The Swiss Chard that I've already mentioned is amazing. A lot of the cabbages, they actually can be very pretty as well as something you can eat.
And a lot of those you can't find in the grocery store, or if you do, it's in the organic section and it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
It's so easy to grow outside. I mean, it's just put them in, watch them grow all winter long. It's that easy because we're that mild. Yes, it gets cool. Actually, the flavor comes out when you get this light frost.
Right.
You know, in a month and a half. It's 2 months away from frost, but when that flavor actually gets better as it gets cooler. Yeah.
So you can put them in now. You can almost start harvesting right away. Beets is another one that we have in.
Yeah.
People don't think about it, but beets the thing I like about beets is you can take the foliage, the green, great for the shakes if you're a shake person. Salads. Yeah. So even though you may not be harvesting that beet, you can start harvesting the greens from it right away. You can do carrots right now.
Oh yeah.
It's a good time to put carrots in. And then broccoli and cauliflower. You can start putting
Brussel sprouts. I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot of seed crops and then leafy crops. If you're harvesting the foliage or the flower, let's say broccoli, like the flower, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, or the foliage like spinach, lettuce, kale. These are all things that do better. They bolt on you in summer. They're not made to be planted in summer.
Right.
The flavor goes off. Yes, they'll grow, but they're just not. They don't taste good. That's cucumber season, eggplant season, tomato season. Now it's leafy season. So as something stops producing that pumpkin, and you finally got to pick off that pumpkin or squash just turning white with powdery mildew, dig them up, plant in some better stuff. It's time you can do that. And it's uniquely the mountains of Arizona really have an extra season that most folks are not used to in other parts of the country because we're so mild.
Right. So get out in your garden and put some more stuff in.
Get out in your garden.
Get out in your garden.
We also, make a bumper sticker.
We should. Like you mentioned earlier, mums are starting to arrive, which I love mums. They're such a great perennial for here. So you can use them in pots and decorate with them right now, then put them out in the perennial bed later if you want to. You have a huge one by your office. It's been there, 3 years
something
or something
like that.
It's like 3 feet across.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. So good time to get your mums in. Also, you can put in Dusty Miller right now. That's another great one that's going to go. Loves the cool season, takes our winters.
Javelina won't bother that. No matter what, rabbits aren't going to bother Dusty Miller.
Right. So that's a good time to put that in. A lot of the dianthus are starting to look really good again too. And there again, they go through, it's warm right now, but they go through the cool seasons and look terrific. So it's
evergreen. I mean, virtually most of the dianthus. Trying to think, most of them are evergreen. They've always got foliage, and they'll mostly have flowers, either bud or bloom on those plants. Great.
I know we've got some of the Jolt series in right now, which man, they're spectacular in bloom. They're just bright colors, really pop out at you. So it's good time to take a look at some of your pots. Maybe need some refreshing, some new stuff in them. It's also a really good time to start looking at grasses. A lot of the ornamental grasses just look fabulous this time of year. Your muhly grasses, porcupine grass, your fountain grasses, not the red fountain grass, people. It doesn't winter over here.
Well, the others do. There's fountain grass, a huge
lot of
family
others
plants.
Do, but I always feel bad for people that put in these red fountain grasses and they love them. They think they're beautiful, and I'm like, sorry, but enjoy them for the season.
Yeah, and then replant them again next year. We'll have some for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's. I love this kind of transition time of year because I love to, when it's really still warm, you're like, man, I can't get rid of this yet. It still could be producing, or it's got a couple blooms on it. But now we're getting ready to move into that fall or cooler season. I don't feel guilty pulling things out and going, well, I'm going to put a mum in or some Dusty Miller in. And
never feel guilty, my dear. You own a garden center. Go enjoy the flowers and rip things out, put a new one in, enjoy it. There's some new colors coming out. It's always fun. Have the snapdragons arrived yet?
Not yet, but they're close.
They're budded heavy,
they're
I know.
Probably within the next week or so. They'll be
all right.
in.
Ken and Lisa Lane, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this.